Hi everyone, it's Norman Koshnick here from Eyes on Cricket. I'm here to talk extensively about India and their T20, let's call it a T20 machine. It's purring again. It certainly has everything ready to go. I think it's gearing up towards the World Cup, which is happening in Australia from October into November. It'll be a great contest. I'm going to be covering it live through cities like Melbourne, Sydney, Perth, and Adelaide in particular. There are games in Brisbane. I'm not going there, unfortunately, but it'll be very interesting to see how it pans out. But it will be a very substantial tournament. Australia, of course, are so-called favourites because of the home ground advantage and their record of having won the World Cup only last year. But I think India, Pakistan, and certainly England as well. I think England are also a part of that top four. You have a number of other teams as well. You have Mosen Chooks.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Have a look at my little background. I've got a few changes there. You'll see. You'll notice that I've got a few
I can
extra.
see your hats and Sri Lankan top, and geez,
Well, I got one. Yeah, I'll go through what they are, but they're pretty interesting stories. But yes, I'm on a bit early because I mean the game's not for another almost 3 hours. So I'm not going to be on that long, but I just thought we should go on a bit longer, perhaps, or earlier at least. How you been?
Good, mate. Good, and yourself?
Very well. Just watching the Olympics, the Commonwealth Games. Just seems like a joke. Australia's winning everything, or England perhaps, but we're right up there.
Yeah, it's disappointing competition, I suppose, that when other teams are not competing enough. So you know that Australia is too good for this competition. For all the sport, pretty much.
What I don't understand when you see a race and there's meant to be 8 swimmers, and you hear that 3 have opted out. That's strange. At this elite level, you'd think you'd have a pool full of people, but
no.
Anyway, it's just overwhelming how the Australians are going. In the cricket, the women's T20 Birmingham games, which I still can't understand why we haven't got an Australian men's team doing it. I don't understand that. Why?
Exactly.
Why just women? I mean, I'm happy for the women, but it doesn't make sense why we wouldn't have both. It's just obvious. You could have done something to cater for that. But anyway.
I agree.
Maybe it's a clash with what's going to be the Olympics. Not the Olympics, sorry, the World Cup, maybe. Who knows? It's probably all right, so I'm saying that India's T20 team are purring again. It's well documented. They're starting to get their act together, and they've got their 1, 2, and 3 sides floating around.
Yep. No, definitely. They're definitely trying all these combinations, testing the players at different spots, different combinations with batting and bowling and whatnot, which is really what you need to do just prior to the cup. As you can see, South Africa doing really well in England in the white ball competition, both with the one days and T20. So I think that's what this time allows you to do it before the T20 World Cup hits in October. So you have another couple of months where you can, whoever's got the games, try and test those combinations. I know Pakistan, New Zealand, and Bangladesh are playing a tri-series just prior to World Cup for T20. So that would be another like a warm-up setup for them.
So New Zealand, India, and Bangladesh.
No, New Zealand, Bangladesh, Pakistan.
Where?
In New Zealand.
Okay.
So just prior to the T20 Cup.
Interesting. I think actually India are playing Australia as well.
India playing Australia, that's true. So there's a lot of game times happening, and that's again a lot of opportunities for guys to try and test the combinations and whatnot. But the worry for a lot of guys is England at the moment. In last 4 series, they have not done well with the white ball. There's a lot of media about it already with the combination of the captain and coach that has responded in red ball cricket, but it's obviously has not responded in white ball cricket. And I looked at some of the stats, and it's very interesting. from up until 2021, where England was doing really well, everyone talks about power hitting and boundary hitting, but it's the power hitting has been about the par, but the thing that has declined is non-boundary hitting deliveries. How they are actually converting those non-boundary hitting deliveries and their strike rate on those. So, there's a high percentage of dot balls. The singles, twos, and threes are not getting converted. So that's where England is getting hurt. They're all talking about power hitting, boundaries, fours and sixes. So the big concentration is on power hitting, but people forget there's 120 deliveries. You're not going to hit every delivery to the ropes. So you've got to make sure that you convert those non-boundary hitting deliveries into something. And that's where England have dropped out since 2021. So that's the concern. And
so are you saying they're not when hitting running?
Yeah, when they're not hitting boundary, there's a lot of accumulation of dot balls.
Yes. Look, there's been all the matches lately where it's very one-sided. Even India, West Indies, you argue, England versus Ireland. Even though Ireland's got runs, they can't bowl for peanuts. They're getting smashed everywhere.
True.
Okay, just Samuels was saying, he's saying can't see him winning without Jason Roy. What is Jason not playing?
Roy's playing. He's been struggling last 5 innings. His highest score is 27 in last 5 or 6 innings that he's played. He hasn't hit the straps this summer, English summer, with white ball cricket. So it's a concern for English white ball think tank.
Okay. All right, just off. You got here. This is a bat that I received from Viv Richards when I was in. Well, I was actually a left-hand seater landed in St Lucia, and good old shipwreck Stanfield Joseph said, Norman, way to the airport, there's another plane arriving. Wait, I'm waiting. And all these model girls were around me. It was a very small little roundabout, or what I call it, carousel. And out came a bat with a bass black cover, and this bat came out and it was signed by Viv. Not very often you get a bat arriving at another airport and it's signed by Viv personally for you. So it was very special. Beautifully decorated. Like there. This one over here is. It's got Ambrose, Winston Benjamin, Andy Roberts, and Wes Hall.
Fantastic! How good!
And just personally signed for me. I was with them at very stage, so it's kind of meaningful to me.
Absolutely. It's a very good memorabilia.
Although none of those are batsmen. Ambrose, Wes Hall, Winston Benjamin, and Andy Roberts. They're not exactly they're not bowlers, and they got it on the back. It means something. So I've just got them out of storage. My son insists I start getting more and more into storage. I've got that, a lot more.
No, you should actually put them, display them, because it's such a meaningful thing, especially when you're around cricket and around cricketers who are legendary status. I think it's a good memory. Obviously, you have the association, but it's the appreciation that you put them up and display them. I think it's gold.
And the thing is, I didn't ask for these. They weren't. I didn't bring my own bat there and say, "Could you sign?" Not only did they sign a bat, he gave me the bat. I didn't get the bat.
That's fantastic.
Isn't it bizarre?
It is excellent.
You don't often get and as I told you, the top was in my ex's, or my then wife's wardrobe on the floor. And I picked it. I go, "What's this?" Tell me what it was. You're kidding me. I said, "What?" I would have phoned it.
Yeah, no. Some people would not value as much as the others would, because it's the association and they know the value of cricket and cricketers. So that's gold, and I think I'd like to see more and more of it.
No, there's plenty more. Okay. Someone asking here, Sophie Sura is asking, Mr. Mosen, are you Indian?
No, I'm my origin from Pakistan, born there and grew up in Australia.
There you go. All right. So okay, India. They're going to probably mix and match this side yet again, aren't they? They're likely to. They're saying that Sky will be open. It looks like they might rest Coley.
Yeah, Colley's been going.
Well, he's not even there, is he?
No, he's not there. No, he's not there.
So Robert Sharma, Sky, Shreyas Iyer, Rishabh Pant. Every time Rishabh Pant bats, he goes third up the order.
Exactly. I think that I like the combination that they're trying. As I said earlier, it is really good time for them to get the other guys or test out the bench strength, because it's still a few months to the cup, and that gives you the opportunity to try and test different combinations, different bowling combinations. And then if someone stands out, you've got an extra strength in the shed that you can bring out anytime. So that's really good, and nothing better than game time, because a lot of guys will do nets and drills and practices, but there's nothing better than spending time in the middle, and that's what India is doing really well, rotating them through and getting more and more exposure to those guys who haven't been exposed at that level. So it's a great approach. And that's what England should have done. England haven't done that. And that's what my concern is. Their aging team, obviously Morgan's gone. They haven't tried and tested any further bench strength. And I was surprised last T20, Moeen Ali bowled 1 over for 4 runs, got 1 wicket, and then never bowled. And where South African spinners got 8 wickets between them. Shamsi got 5 for, and England keep sticking with the pace, and Topley got hit around, and South African batters needed the pace. And that's what I would like to see, how the spin is going to dominate. It would be interesting in Australian pitches where the cup is, and I still believe the spin is going to play a good role in middle overs, and it always has in grounds like Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, and at the Gabba as well. So it would be interesting.
Okay, it's Basseterre, of course, there's some kits in there, so I've been there. Honestly, I hate it. I think it's very Americanized. Every person's got their hand out for it. Whereas right across the road, you've got Antigua where everybody's relaxed and give rather than take. Very, St Kitts has got a real edge about it, very Americanized. Beaches are actually horrible because they've got huge seaweed issues. They're on the Atlantic side of the beach, the island, whereas Antigua has the beach on the Caribbean side. Placid, clear. The Atlantic side is seaweed and heavy rain and heavy. It's amazing how an island can be very different because of where it faces. It's beaches. Have you been to the Caribbean?
I've been to Caribbean. Yeah.
Do you remember that? Antigua had beaches beautiful, but more on the Caribbean side.
Caribbean side is beautiful, and that's I agree to 100% what your comment was about people. It's St Kitts is more commercial, more Americanized. It's more, it's different. It's just the vibe is different. As soon as you go to the Caribbean side, the Antigua, the people are so chilled out, and they're just in a relaxed mode. You don't feel intensity or in the environment as you do come towards the American shores. You do feel that more hustle.
Martinique and Guadeloupe, they're both French, extremely French. Citrons, Peugeots, French lamps. And then in the middle between the two of them, there's Dominica, which is British. It's a wasteland of high hills, quite nice, but a little bit on edge.
Yep.
Then you have St Lucia's, cool as a cucumber.
Exactly.
What an amazing set of islands. It really is.
It's exactly right. I love St Lucia.
Amazing. And they could have people like Viv Richards come out of there.
Exactly right. Yeah, swagger.
He still is my favourite ever cricketer. no one comes anywhere close to him. I know Brabham, yeah, we all know Brabham, but honestly, Viv Richards is number 2 for me.
Yeah, no, I think the way he carried himself, the way he carried the cricket, I think 80s. If you bring that 80s cricket now, if he was in this era, he would be most loved cricketer. Well, he probably is still, but at this time and age when there's so much media and everything, the world would be at his feet, regardless.
He would have. IPL would have paid him squillions to play. Oh,
Absolutely.
oh,
Yeah.
really?
Most
I
sought
remember
after.
seeing him in Sydney back in the day and watching him. And I was just, your jaw was on the ground.
Mm.
It was just, especially against balls around his face or in his head, he just swatted them away.
Absolutely.
Never blinked.
I was part of under 17 squad in Pakistan, and West Indies played Pakistan in Faisalabad, a test match. So Viv was captaining, and Imran Khan was captaining Pakistan. It was like a star-studded team, and I was the ball boy on the boundary line, and I was watching with he came to the boundary a couple of times, getting a drink. It was a hot day, and we at the ball boys, we were swapping positions, trying to get close to him and pass him a drink and whatnot, and you know, just want to get a picture with him. And I remember when I was with Brisbane Heat and he was with Melbourne Stars. So after the game, you know, the guys going to each other's change room, and I reminded him about that, and I took a photo with him. I said, that was ages ago when I was under 17. I was a ball boy when you were batting, and now I have an opportunity to you know, be face to face when we are when you know, so many years have gone past, and my admiration for his personality didn't. So he was gracious enough to get a photo with me. But yeah, fantastic guy, and it's just so laid back, such a swagger about him. He's just unbelievable.
How lucky am I? I've got his brother Mervyn Richards, a personal friend. He's been on my show countless times, and is such a lovely bloke.
Exactly, yeah. That's
Such incredible. Gaming with Punjay's here. Sally Sarura's here. Himanshu, please read my comment. Himanshu, I'm talking on a struggling until the 90 World Cup with Roy. Maybe, but I think England is still, they're a chance.
there's still
a chance.
they just need to click. Yeah.
Because England can handle Australia in the short format pretty well.
True, true. And they've done well in recent past as well. They've done well. So I wouldn't say, but the prize package is still South Africa. I'm still sticking by my comment I made in your last show as well. That South Africa could be a surprise package. There are a couple of guys who are coming through, and they're doing well in English conditions. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out here and do well in white ball cricket. Not so much red ball, but short form of cricket. They might surprise.
I'm kind of shocked because I still am not personally convinced, but they keep doing well at the moment. So, I don't know. I just feel they need that one magical leader. Quinton de Kock was the one I thought, but they really haven't got that one leader like a Graham Smith or a Pollock or someone like that. They haven't got someone like that.
No. It's just again the issues behind the selections, the board, the policies. You know, the policies about picking black versus whites. You know, rather than talent.
Oh.
That stuffs up the cricket. And that's why de Kock pulled the pin. He just could not handle. A lot of guys went to Kolpak. Riley Rosso is back in South African colours after being convinced. So Miller, Rosso, de Kock, they've got power hitting. Markham and Hendrick. So they've got power hitters. It's just that they've got to make sure that they play as a team, which they haven't. We've never. They've gone to the semi-finals of so many competitions and they choke. So I hope that you know, for cricket's sake, South Africa backroom gets sorted, which hasn't. The amount of talent that has come out of South Africa is amazing, but problem is in the backroom.
I'd argue in women's cricket, is also fallen apart. They got absolutely smashed by England in T20, ODI, and Test. All three were smashed. They're getting beaten in the Birmingham Commonwealth Games as well. And there's something not right there.
Yeah, and Marzan left the tour earlier, and it's just you can sense it from outside that something's not right. And I know
even something Miswell's not playing every game.
Yeah, true.
But Shub Miswell didn't play the Test match, which is very rare. The rare event for them. I know both of them love to play. They weren't even in the team.
Yep, exactly right. Exactly.
Something's not right.
No, something's not right.
And I'm sorry. I don't care how well these players you met South Africa. They still have not got the choking in World Cup tournament. It's they have had so many tournaments where they have not done well World Cups, or they've gone to the semi-finals and then lost it.
And they lost it. They've never gone past the semi-final stage to dominate. Whereas they've got the talent to dominate. They've got players to do it. But it's, again, the eras of Donald to Pollocks to Rabadas, they've produced some fantastic quick bowlers, then the batsmen and whatnot. But, it's just something mentally that they cannot get over. And I still believe strongly that once you have that backroom comfort, you overcome a lot of things, but, they haven't. And I don't see it happening in near future unless they sort out that the issues behind the scene in selections, in management, and the politics behind it. It's just ruining the cricket in South Africa.
Look, say the same thing about. Really, Australia always seems to get through these ICC-based World Cups because we have got inner strength of certainty about what we do. I think that's the fundamental thing. India have it in spades on occasions as well, and Pakistan has done it. Even the West Indies have done it as well, by the way. They can get through that barrier. It's like a Jared Hayne of Parramatta when they decided to go, well, they flew.
I think that West Indies.
I'm actually looking. Sorry.
Sorry, no, you go.
I was going to say, I'm looking forward to this World Cup because I think we've got to see something interesting. I'm saying right now that I don't think Australia's going to win. Not that they're not positioned correctly. I think India, Pakistan, for some reason, will be in the final. And I hate to say it, even South Africa might pop through. I don't know, but it'll be interesting. It won't be what's the word, a cakewalk for Australia.
No, it won't be. No. And the thing that I was going to make a point about West Indian cricket is then, without having such resourceful money, sponsorship, grounds, upgrading of stadiums and whatnot, they've still won the last T20 they won. They didn't even have sponsor. They didn't have their kits arrive just before the first game, and it was the sponsor pulled out, so they had no clothing. Just before the first game, they got their clothing, and that's what it's telling me, that they play as a team, even though they are different islands come together, and it's West Indies. People who've been there, they understand that the small islands come together. It's the culture from one island to the other. We just touched base on that earlier on. It's so different, and they've just yet again managed to win 2 T20 World Cups. So it was a double with the girls and the boys when Baker arrived. So that's what I'm just talking about. Then when they play as a team, even coming from different islands, they won it. And that's the disappointing part for me from South Africa is they have come from different, obviously that divide between the culture of, the quota system, picking the blacks and whites players and whatnot. It just ruins the cricket for me. I like to see them do well. I want them to do well. They're a good sporting country overall, but it's just it's the management and behind room is killing the game.
Yeah, Yeah. Just going back for a minute to Basseterre and St Kitts is what the main island is. St Kitts, Basseterre, and even Warner Oval, I think it is too. Those grounds, they're about as close as you can get to the ground that you can ever get in the West Indies. They're usually dust bowls, or grass. They're talking about using 3 spinners potentially. Incredible ground. It was the most desolate-looking ground. I thought I was going to get sand dune. So white.
And
very little grass.
And the grass, yeah, the outfields are very rough as well. It reminds me when I went in St Kitts, it reminded me of playing at Faisalabad, because when I was under 17 in Faisalabad, the outfield used to be very dusty and very rough, and that's what St Kitts. The ball is, if you're playing a Test cricket there, the ball will get rough straight away. And I remember Wasim Akram won Test match, reverse ball after 15 overs. The outfield is dusty, as you mentioned. The pitch is not really supportive of pace, and I think that's where Indian spinners will be really good. And West Indian spinners have done well in recent past as well. But again, it will be the dominance of spin, I think, from both sides will play a role in this one. Patel have done well, both with bat and ball, and the comments that I'm reading is they're demanding more than 2 spinners, as you mentioned, 3 spinners might be playing. So it's just amazing. You think about 20, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, West Indies, you always think about fast bowlers, and here we are talking about 3 spinners in West Indies.
I mean, look, I go back to the fact that, as we talked about, that West Indies is so different. Jamaica, good at cricket, yes, but incredible sports all round. And Jamaica, a lost location, because a lot of basketball go out of there or baseballs come out of there. They could have had cricket, and even their ability to run fast shows me they could have been talented fast bowlers. It's very interesting. I mean, of course, the one that really shocks me is such a small island, but they're cricket mad, absolutely cricket mad. Yeah, I love the West Indies. Look at the Commonwealth Games. Barbados represented, Jamaica represented. They're separate countries. British cricket's got no hope because there is not such thing as a West Indies in the Commonwealth Games. You can't do that.
No, you can't. It's exactly right. Exactly right.
So they merely get squashed.
That's right. And they beat.
It's like saying, "Oh, sorry, Shogun's in South Australia." What?
Exactly. And their girls team beat Pakistan. You saw the game, or you saw the results. So the talent, the athleticism is amazing. It's just in their genes. And when you go there, the chill out factor, you walk down the streets and you just see people so chilled out, and the athletic. It's just amazing how many athletes have come through from Jamaica, the Barbados, and it's. Yeah, it just imagine if that was really allowed to compete as one country in those Commonwealth Games as well. They'll do well.
Like, for example, with rugby league and rugby union, Australians often go to, well, now New Guinea, they go to Fiji, Samoa, Tonga to pull the athletic locals out of the woods chopping trees into play rugby or rugby league. I dare say if you went through the West Indies thoroughly, you'd find a lot of sports people there that aren't not being utilised. Trinidad is so Indian, it's not funny, so hence they like their cricket. But yeah, it's an incredible place, and I hope we never lose a powerhouse of cricket out of the West Indies. We've always got to produce players there. It's such an important part of the world cricket. And look at the West. See, I look at the Indian team. My God, Sharma, Sky, Shreyas Iyer, Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya, Jadeja, Kartik, who's still playing. He'll be like Anderson playing at 40.
Exactly right.
I noticed Dinesh Kartik is actually playing with Kunal Sharma's that's the thing he's got going on in Dubai.
Yep. That's right.
It's got a new brand now. It's called Fight Talk.
That's what's going to clash with Big Bash as well in January. So let's see what happens.
What a mess!
What a mess! Yeah, what a mess!
Seriously, and even the contemplation that the BCCI, the actual IPL teams, will have year-long contracts with their players.
Exactly right.
That their franchise will have players playing UAE, CPL, wherever.
That's right, and that's the worry that is going to come the competition with Big Bash, because if the minute you see Steve Smith, David Warner, Hazelwood, they want to play in the International Premier League, all of a sudden your Big Bash is dying, because if you can't hold your own player, because I know there's a word around that Warner wants to get out of his CA contract so he can sign the International Premier League in January. So because South Africa has pulled out from one day, so there's a window available for all the internationals to play Big Bash. But I know that these guys want to go over to UAE for that 4 weeks competition rather than Big Bash.
Oh,
and you can make up to $450,000 US plus the prize money. So you're $500,000 rich in the competition, which makes this league second highest paid Premier League. So why wouldn't you?
Exactly. Himanshu's in a bus, for God's sake. Himanshu Wasi.
Hello.
I haven't been reading the message. That's some crazy. What an absolute amazing win by Indian women lawn bowl thing. I'm afraid. I haven't watched that. I must be honest. I always think lawn bowls is Trevor Chappell times by 100.
That one ball, 6 runs required.
I think the same right here. We don't need Warner in the side. Get rid of him. You know what? Let him go to the UAE. Who cares? Get rid of him. Seriously.
It's not about Warner going. The thing is, it's about principle. If you read the article from Adam Gilchrist, he was talking about, it's about like how India has kept his Premier League premium to his players. If your local players are not playing in your premium league, then that makes other players go, okay, well, I am not going to play domestically. I will go away. So that is your commercial killer, basically. So you can kill your league by allowing your own players to go and play other leagues while your own Premier League is happening. So that's what my concern is. I agree with you that Warner is probably towards his twilight of his career, and he's going to give up T20 cricket after World Cup by the every chance that is that Smith as well. But the thing is, if you're not allowing your players to go elsewhere but allowing them to play here, I think that is where you keep your integrity about your own league. But otherwise, the integrity is gone. You're only getting 30 players, 170 players so far that I've seen registered for drafting, but you only got 30 spots. 32 spots. You're 4 players per team, and that's not good enough. That's why everyone's going to go and get the money from International Premier, because there's 8 spots per team, and there's 6 teams, and they're going to play the game. The 8 players are going to play, so they're going to sign up to 14, 15 players. So that's a lot of players, a lot of international players in the UAE league. So there will be 8 players playing, 2 UAE players, 1 from developing team, and 1 under 19 players. So that's your combination of a team in the UAE. Whereas here, you're only allowing 2 players to play. And that's
we haven't got money to pay a player like the IPL slash UAE. Surely, Kolkata Knight Riders is a player. Or in the case of Ward, who's with Delhi Daredevil or Delhi Capitals, whoever their affiliates are. We're paying you 3 for IPL. Make it 15. Balls all around the world. He's going, yes.
Exactly. And that's what 11 years ago, when the Big Bash was starting, they thought, okay, we'll go with the franchise model rather than the state-owned model, and that's where they should have thought commercially about the sport, It's still state-owned model. It's not commercially, even though there's a separate body that runs the Big Bash teams, but that's not commercially privatized, and that's where Cricket Australia is losing money. Where they look at South Africa, auctioned off the teams. All the teams are bought by Indian IPL franchises. All of a sudden, there's going to be influx of money. Who wouldn't want to go, as you said, if Delhi wants their player to go and play CPL, IPL, UAE, and South Africa, and they're paying them a few $1 million, why wouldn't you? You're set for the year. You don't need to play international cricket because you're financially secure for a few years. If you play that for 3 or 4 years, you're done. You know, you made your money. You made a career out of it, like soccer. But Australia have not gone commercialized just purely to keep control over the game, which is not in the long term. It's how it's going to happen. They should have at the time. I know when I was involved with Brisbane Heat for the first 3 years, there was opportunity at the time. There was talk that they will sell 50% shares of the team. But then if you get Indian owners or from Dubai, the sheikhs are going to come and buy the team. Obviously, they're going to make it commercial and then going to make it big, and that money is going to come in towards your domestic, your grassroots cricket, everything. Look at this infrastructure in India. Look at the academies developed in India. How much money has gone back into the sport? How much money has gone into development of the youth? How much money has gone into development of support staff? Job opportunities. Now the Indian sports staff are going to go and service South Africa. They're going to service UAE. They're already servicing the Caribbean. So it's all about making the sport commercial, making the opportunities for players, sports staff, and all the other job opportunities, which Australia have missed the boat. And I'm very, very skeptical about. And I was talking to Shippy about this the other day when we were talking about draft, which is coming up. And he was saying how many players will definitely want to come here and play. And I said, look, if you talk about dollar to dollar, if I'm a player, if I'm in that playing league, I would prefer to go to UAE, where it's more fun, shorter league, more money, and I'm close to anywhere that I want to go. You know, in Australia, the more restrictions, less money, longer tournament, and it's fatiguing. So it's not rocket science.
Well, Sri Lanka has gone through its issues. We're not letting any Sri Lanka on tourist league. No one. None. So they've got to get work sponsored visas, or in the case of cricket, sports visas. Now, how the hell we get staff we need in this? Everything from cleaners to what? I don't care. They're not able to get into the country. No. Are we mad? We should be giving them bloody tourist visas. Come in here. We don't care if you work in league. Just get here. We need you. We need 50% of the efforts staff. Are we mad?
Absolutely. 100%.
We could have some incredible hard-working Sri Lankans who want to work their butt off, turning up here. I don't care what visa. And they're being used in all sorts of lesser jobs, but happy. We've done it before with the Vietnamese or even back to the Italians or the Greeks. We've done it for decades. Now, why are we stopping it now?
No, it just doesn't make sense. It's just the policies. I've just, I just cannot understand, cannot get my head around. We crying out for labour. Every business you talk to, everywhere you go to, they're talking about, we can't find labor, we can't find people to work for me. Petrol pumps, restaurants, offices, IT, accounting,
hotels.
Any industry you talk about, there's shortage of labor. And we are, we keep increasing the interest rate, inflation, and we cannot open up the borders and welcome people from any country that is in need and get them to come here and help us work. It's basically helping our economy, which is struggling.
The building that's the station near Dina, the old building, like a old post office building, about 10 floors. Behind it, they've got a building going in from Atlassian, the IT company. That's going to be 100 floors. They've had to close down the company called Built. The building going to take up some of the floors. But do you realise what the rest of the building is going to be used for? The next about 8 floors to house Ukrainian families, the refugees. Apparently, we're taking women at the moment, not the men. They come in here in large numbers and they stay in the hotel. So, okay, I understand Ukraine's in a war, but why aren't we helping Sri Lanka even more so?
Exactly. Valid point. It's just it just doesn't make sense. A lot of policies doesn't make sense.
Biran can't stand the echo.
Come on, Bram, come and join us in the show.
Yeah, Bram, come and join. I'll get him to come.
There's an interesting comment. I just want to go back to India West Indies cricket. You know how we were talking about 3 spinners and how the conditions actually are demanding a lot of spinners. But the interesting stat I want to share with you and your audience. In last few games, the Quicks have taken 71 wickets in last 10 matches at this venue with the average of 17. So that's something that that's telling me whether the Quicks are still going to play a role. I think they will. It's a relatively low scoring venue. Yeah, that would probably be interesting. There's a probable team that is up on Cricinfo, which is indicating West Indies will probably go unchanged, whereas India might go with Sharma, Kumar Yadav, Iyer, Pant, Pandya, Jadeja, Karthik, Ashwin, and then either Bishul or Patel, and then Bhuvishnu Kumar and Arshdeep Singh. So that's interesting. The stat that I just shared with you, that's 71 wickets at the average of 17 in last 10 matches. So it's going to be interesting. Slow scoring venue, we all know that, but whether the pace will play the role up front, or whether the spinners will play the role in those middle overs with dominating 3 spinners with India, it will be interesting.
Well, the SCG certainly can take spin. Adelaide Labels can take it. To me, we're going to see a need to put in spinners. The one that we will rely heavily on will be Zampa, and possibly
Agar.
Guy that's never really been rated, but Ashton Agar, I think, is quality.
I think so. I think Ashton Agar will definitely have a role to play in the cup, and don't count out MCG since it's been a drop-in pitch. It has not supported seam and pace as much as the original pitch used to. Since the drop-in, it's been more batting placid pitch with support to spin. Fawad loves bowling at MCG since it's been drop-in pitch, and I was talking to him, and he reckons that MCG takes more turn if it's early in the season, because obviously the drop-in pitch comes in play. It hasn't settled in, so what it does, it supports spin bowling, and October is early in the season for MCG, because obviously it's fresh off the footy season. And similar is going to be SCG, I suppose. As I said, when I was with New South Wales, we would never have SCG available prior to Christmas, because the time it takes from ground to come back from footy and everything. So obviously they will stop playing footy earlier this season to get the ground ready for October for the World Cup. So it's going to be interesting for both venues, as you said, that they're known to take spin as well. And Adelaide, of course, is another one. So I think 2 spinners for Australia is going to be my pick, and then Maxwell can bowl some Andy overs as well.
He's a great player. They're undervalued. Again, I don't know what it is. Test series in Sri Lanka, and they got absolutely that last inning, as we know. Now, Sam Hislop's saying South Africa surprise Australia. Wanting more players saying that. Right. I can't see them doing it. Not because they bit of talent there coming through. They won't do it.
No.
They won't make it.
No. I think red ball cricket, I think it's going to be difficult for them. White ball, because it's such a short format, there's no time to come back in the game. So if you're on a roll, most of the time you can continue with that momentum. But with Test cricket, obviously there's so much time in the game. You have opportunities to come back, and we've seen in last 4 Test matches in Sri Lanka where teams have had opportunity to come back, and they did. Sri Lanka won both their second Test matches against Pakistan and Sri Lanka and Australia. They had opportunity to come back, and they did. So it's a different ball game. I think red ball, I don't see it happening. White ball is 50-50.
Okay. Looking at, it's an unusual little period we're going through now. We need to have a break. We're having this lingering matches here and there. Women's after the Commonwealth Games. But yeah, we need a resurgence. It's starting to wane. It wanes a bit this time. England's cricket series the thing that helps us with. I can't watch South Africa. Something annoys me. Really, I've got this mental block now to South Africa. I can't get excited about it. There's not that romance of a Schnummler or De Villiers. There's not that sort of wow factor. I know they've got good players here.
Yeah.
They're boring. There's no character in it.
No, there's no superstar. Even Faf du Plessis, I've watched him very closely. He had something that you want to watch him. Yeah, exactly. There's no superstar at the moment in that South Africa team.
Riley Russo, Randy even Dean Elgar had more personality. They're nondescript. Hendricks, they play a couple of good shots, but they're not. Something's missing. Really,
something's missing. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't make you watch. It does not make you watch. The days of Alan Donald running in, and you want to watch that. You want to watch Rabada. You want to watch Smith, Amla, De Villiers. It's unbelievable. Something's missing.
I mean, even Herschel. Right.
Even Herschel did. Yeah, exactly.
Quentin de Kock was pretty good, but now he's not around. Jesus, what are they doing to get some? I mean, you know what I would do? I would go to the streets of South Africa, out in the outback, look for a guy that's musty as hell and looks as arrogant as hell. Say, and be our next video. There must be some African dude there with incredible physique, athleticism, cockiness. Unearth him.
Absolutely. Why not? Yeah.
I'm Sid had children. I think he had sons. He had daughters.
His son played first class cricket in England at the time when West Indies cricket was going through turmoil. He played in England with Botham's son. I think they were playing. There was a bit of headline when they started to play, whether they will be the next big thing. But most of the time, superstar son, they don't really mirror the father. No.
Unless you're swimming. McKeon just won 11 gold or something. Her father, Ron McKeon, went to my school. He was a Commonwealth Games swimmer, but his daughter's gone beyond it. Okay. Read what Charles says.
Yeah, but I don't see in Test. I don't see it happening. I think Australia will be too good for South Africa. Even England will be good for South Africa. I think England will be a real litmus test for how South Africa will play. This Test series, England versus South Africa, will be very interesting.
So I look at. Talk about South Africa needing a star player. West Indies also needs a player. They need a Chris Gale. That big guy, what was his name? The one that was the spinner. He could look, 150 kilo. He could hit the ball.
He could hit the ball. Yeah.
Where is he?
Yeah, just disappeared.
Like the Western Indies, Cole Mayers, Brandon King, Nicholas Pruitt's okay. Jason Holder's okay. They're lacking star power as well.
That's right. Pollard. Even
Greg
Pollard. Yeah.
Has Pollard dropped or what?
Pollard's given up. He's not playing international.
We're going to be joined by Ram's about to join.
Yep. So they've got Pooran, Holder, Powell, Hetmeyer. No superstar. I mean, Holder is okay. He's done well. But then you need Russell. You need Chris Gale. You need
Dwayne Bravo.
You need that character. You need that. It's just missing.
Oh, Chris Gale. Jesus. What a star. He's so much. What an attraction to watch. Like, I don't care how old he is. Keep him playing.
That's true. So it'd be interesting. How they come about. They're talking about Hayden Walsh Jr. might play today instead of Powell. So again, Hayden Walsh Jr. is a good prospect.
Hayden Walsh. Chris Vernon played with him.
I don't mind him. I think he's a good player. But again, it's just no superstar. It's just
I mean, I reckon Pakistan's got the Shaheen, the Waris Ralph, Babar Azhar, the Zam. Even Shafiq and Imam Halak. There's one. They got some players there. I want to watch this one.
I actually am looking forward. You know how you were saying there's all of bits and pieces cricket's happening and whatnot. I want to watch the Asia Cup. It's coming up shortly. It's now moved from Sri Lanka to UAE. So I think that would suit all the countries because it will be Pakistan have played a lot of cricket in UAE, as you know. I think it would be very interesting to see how one for 50 over cricket how it keeps that alive, and two, how the teams actually take it seriously and how well they keep the tournament alive. Because if the one-day cricket is going to die, that will be the start of it.
Yeah.
So that's why I watched that.
There's been an emergence of Asia. They're getting more prominence. Women playing in Bangladesh. Well. Okay, so Sam Islet's has made a well, I mean the World Cup. I think that could. Breaking news. Second T20 has been delayed. 2 hours on. No. It'd be like 3 in the morning. I'm not saying that long.
No. Is there any news on that? Why is it delayed? Is it delayed because of any corona, or is there any news? No. Can you dig out?
That's ridiculously late.
Because if it's delayed due to sickness or whatnot, it might not happen.
I don't know what's going on. It's such a weird time. So they're saying what's the Twitter?
Just on Cricinfo saying the match was initially it was saying 2 hours. Now it's saying match starts in 4 hours. So
that's ridiculous. Long. Yeah. Delayed start time. Gold medal to how I can't water. Oh boy. They're saying due to circumstances beyond their control.
Yeah, that's what my worry was. If it is because of the corona sickness or whatnot, then it would be. I wouldn't be surprised if they called the game off today.
Well, if they're delaying it by 2 hours, that's really time zones. Because what time will it be? And it'll be, well, it won't be that bad.
Yeah, it would be late in the night, but it won't be that bad. Yeah.
Horrific for us.
Yeah, it'd be 3 in the morning, which is very late.
I'm just posting that now. This Kent purified. Well, Warner Park is. Oh my God! I thought it was a dust.
Yep.
Very bland. It's intriguing. You reckon they'll call it off then?
Look, I think if it's due to sickness, I think it's more likely they'll call it off. But it's just as I scroll through, there's no news about what the reason is, and everyone is saying it's beyond the circumstances, beyond their control, which is indication it's not weather, it's not because the weather is pretty clear. It's something to do with either sickness or something. So I'll be I wouldn't be surprised if the game is.
Well, Marshall Mahella's on a bus, he's saying. He's on his way to he's in Noida, which is obviously near Delhi. Bad luck for AJ Singh and weightlifting. Haider Ali also will play well. We lost a gold medal in the weightlifting to the Australians. The guy held it long enough, but they deemed that he didn't. It was quite bizarre. Very interesting. All right, so as far as dynamic gunner, become a later arrival of the I'm not sure. I think it was more just straight conditions.
Okay. If it's logistic, then I don't see why it will affect. But obviously, broadcast and whatnot in India will be still reasonable time. I think it would be 10:30 in the night. So it would still be a reasonable viewing time. And regardless of what time it is in India, Indians will watch the game because if India is playing,
they're watching.
They'll watch. Yeah, they'll watch.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to but all right. So we can't really do much more of an hour update now, anyway, because we've got a boss is not here, and Himanshu Rahela's travelling on a bus. I'm not sure where you're going, Himanshu Rahela. But good of you still be listening in while you're on a bus.
Yep. It'd be still hot in Delhi.
Or Noida is certainly hot.
Yeah, rainy season would be started, wouldn't it?
All right, so we might end it there, Moses. I
think we'll catch up again, and see how the other cricket is coming along, because there's still a lot of cricket coming in near future.
So just quickly, Amlas Bora is asking me, come back 9:30 p.m. EST. 9:30 p.m. EST is 2 a.m. in the morning in Australia.
I don't think you
I'm not that keen to do that. I'm sorry. No. That's a little bit too much.
Exactly. Hey, Norman, I remember you were going to look at my accreditation. Because remember the link.
Yeah, I've spoken about that. What they've done, they've closed it online.
Oh, okay.
But Boreas told me I'm not worried about that too much, because as long as our group's on there, you can add people in. Sports one. It may not be a name, still it may be more the. So he told me not to worry. I asked him, but the date closed. So I didn't even know.
Right. Okay. Well, you sort me out then, and then.
So you must have just sent me like not a CV, but something like a little document to have. Have you got something like that?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Just send me on WhatsApp. But yeah, it's not a problem, because we've got a so-called company.
Okay.
And we might have a different titling. We'll work out something.
Easy. No worries, man.
We haven't got anyone in Brisbane anyway for starters. But
I
Yeah,
want
there's
to
not
come
much.
myself.
Just tell me what. I mean, would you go to Melbourne?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, love to.
I've got a mate of mine who's got. I actually got it for a corporate
Yeah,
box.
you told me about the corporate box.
Yeah.
How good would that be?
Yeah, through Wayne Holsworth.
Exactly.
Wayne's the person that seems to be involved with the organising of it now. So one of the guys.
Fair enough.
When there's a will, there's a way.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'll
It won't be a full Australian cricket season accreditation. ICC, but different.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But there's a guy, you know, the guy who wasn't charged. Al Hussein, he was a Pakistani guy.
Was it?
He's now got back to cricket board as their media manager, but he's still he's a. I was Boris not why about.
Yeah. No.
I told him all about it because I spied. In fact, also Rapakshi and the other girl. Not a partner, sorry. Oh, I'm having to tell name a day. Names today. Not Rapakshi,
Shimona. Yeah. Easy. All right, Norman. I'll leave you to
All right.
it.
All right, thanks. Thanks. We'll talk soon.
Thanks
Ciao.
to you. Chat soon. Cheers. Bye.
Ciao. Yes, the Mosen Shakes is spending. Call Greenwell, Cam Green, and I'm labor. I can't come back at. It's 2 a.m. in the morning. That's still another 3.5 hours away. I won't last that long. I'll be gone by that stage. Australian women's versus watching Australian women's versus Fiji. Faith Nathan, who's that? Oh God. Well, we're going to work out how we're going to do this, guys, because this is going to be too long. Because of luggage, lots like arrival from Trinidad. I mean, what? That's why they're like, okay, gold medal for India, Norman. Yeah. What's the latest one? Amazing. There's been gold medals all over the place, actually. Australia's got about 20 odd, I think they've got, or 25 medals overall. You've got England, New Zealand, and South Africa all doing very well. Canada, then India, I think India's sixth. I think they're sixth, I think. Australia first, England second, New Zealand third, Canada fourth. Then South Africa's fifth, and then sixth is India. Please add Sir Vivian Richards. Well, he can't come into today. I know that. Norman, your thoughts on England batting versus South Africa? Certainly is a worry. The South Africans keep winning. England keeps falling away, but they're playing too much cricket as well. So I'm not really concerned. I think that we'll find that that'll sort itself out. So Australia versus Fiji, and Australian backline looks really good on. There's a massive gap there through the middle. Amazing. Did you see England are in top 4 of what? The World Test Championship? No. It wouldn't be there. Is England Phil Salt, they might. 3 T20 versus Australia and 3 to yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Dynamic game. It's a dynamic game. You've changed. You got a U dynamic. You change the name or something. All right. We might have to leave, guys. We might have to just finish this up now. Very poor preview situation, guys. Very impressive. All right, guys. We might have to finish the show there. I'm Bahram Irani's not there. No, he's gone. Not sure what happened to him. All right, guys. We might have to call it quits. I think I'll let it go there. Talk to you all tomorrow. Hopefully, maybe later. I'll see how I go. Maybe I'm not going to promise. Unless you want to wait now. My other suggestion. Oh, this is the Asia Cup series. Is that what you're talking about? Okay. Getting no increases there at all. What's going on here? Okay. Okay, so Bahram Irani couldn't come because of some issue with the audio, so that's all right. All right, guys, we've been on for an hour. Himanshu, yes, they can replace Jason Roy. He's being really frustrated with his form, Michael Athens says. Yeah, well, look, I don't think he's going to be the reason why England don't win, though. There's Himanshu Rahal, there's more than just Jason Roy in their squad, I can assure you. Harsh Patel is in Australian conditions. How do you think about that? Harsh Patel will do well. In fact, the whole Indian team will be very much able to handle them. It's going to be India's, their chances are huge, I think, really. Very, very sizable. Okay. All right. We're not a very busy night tonight, guys. We've had a pretty lackluster number of people. It's probably the timing. It's very sad issues. All right, update. Tim David and Cameron Green Stones will hit 100-metre sixes for Hospital. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. I think it's time that we let's stop this, huh? All right, guys. I'm going to see you all hopefully tomorrow. Or certainly we'll get more of a result from the India Western game, which could well not go ahead. It may not go ahead. It's 2:30 a.m. That's so late. This is not funny. It's big garbage. Okay. All right, guys, we'll have to call it quits there. All right, take care. Talk to you soon again. Hopefully, do you like my background? There's Winston Benjamin, Curtly Ambrose, Andy Roberts, and Wes Hall, and then over there's got Viv Richards.